go ahead and get started. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and kind of tell my whole story, because I want you guys to really hear my heart and hear like some great things that have been happening to me. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to forewarn you that Mama's going to bring you to church tonight. Like I am really like I can't help but share like what has happened to me, and it's I there's no other way but to share it authentically. And so anyway, my name is Tammy Fee. For those of you that don't know me, I have been in Monet for 6 years. I had my 6-year anniversary in July 1st, and it's been an amazing journey. It was incredible that I found the company, and I got the samples and I wasn't going to do it. And then I heard God, I knew it was God say, no, you are going to do it. And I knew to listen. Thank goodness that I did. And so it's just been an incredible journey. But like anybody that owns a business, it's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down, it's been up, right? So I want to share with you my whole journey and where things have gone. And the reason I want to share it with you is because I want you to know that owning your own business has valleys. It's like a roller coaster. You're going to be really high sometimes, and then other times you're going to be down low, but you just don't want to give up. And that is the absolute key. So, when I joined Monet, like I got super excited. I saw this opportunity for what it was. And I said, wow, I have got something incredible here. And I just wanted to share it with other people. Like I was so excited to help other people have great hair. I was so excited to help other people have a great business. And so I didn't have a big network at all. I have no idea how many friends I had on Facebook, but I would guess maybe a few hundred. Like I didn't know hardly anybody. I was a homeschool mama at the time, and all my other kids were grown. And I don't know, like as my other kids grew, my network got smaller and smaller. And so I didn't have a huge network. But I ended up building pretty fast. I was actually asked to speak at our very first Monations, and that was exciting because I was on this great trajectory and building really fast. And then I fell and dislocated my kneecap, and I was put on painkillers, and everything kind of stalled for a little while. But I healed. I got over that. I started building again, and I hit Market Mentor in April, and it was just a really exciting time. And so I was able to become what we now call a legacy founder in this company, and it was just phenomenal. And so then right around that same time that I hit Market Mentor, we actually decided to move a couple hours away, and we bought what I started referring to as our country house, and we kept the house that we lived in and rented it out. But I had lived here at that time in this house for about 13 or 14 years, and oh my gosh. I mean, if you ever watched Friends and saw Monica and she always hid stuff in closets, that was apparently me. I had so much stuff to go through. And so I remember I was in qualification for Maui at that time. And I said to Craig, he's like, oh, because at one point I was like number 5, like in the group of people that was earning Maui. And I just said to Craig, I'm like, I'm either going to pack this house or I'm going to earn Maui. I can't do both. Like I can't. And so I kind of put Maui aside, cheered on our team members that were going, and I was okay with that. It's just sometimes life gets in the way and you got to do what you got to do. And so then when you quit working, you know what happens? You kind of lose that motivation, that momentum, and all that kind of stuff. And I did earn a trip to Seattle, Washington. It was my first trip that I had earned. It was a leader trip, and I kind of didn't even want to go. And because I just had really lost my mojo. And around that same time, Monet was kind of going through a little bit of a slump. So, we started in 2014, and then by this time it was September, October of 2016, and we were just in a little bit of a slump. But that trip changed everything, not just for me, but for all of the people that were there. And it made Monet what Monet is today. That trip literally made Monet what Monet is today, because it was just so phenomenal, fired us all up. So by the time I went there in October, I had dropped from MM to MMB, and I was like just so down that I was MMB. But I was like, oh, after that trip, I'm like, they rolled out the Cadillac program, and I'm like, yes, I am going back. I'm earning me that Cadillac. I'm making this happen. I am going to share this with every mama I can find. And so I did. That's exactly what I did. And in January, I got back to MM. By March, I hit MMM and earned my Cadillac on like the 10th of the month. I mean, it was crazy. By November 2017, so that was all in 2017. January, I got back to MM. By November 2017, I hit executive director. So in between there, I had hit AED. And I mean, we were just flying high. Like, there was not enough time in the day to talk to people. It was incredible. Our organization literally was exploding. I would wake up in first thing in the morning, and I was just so excited. I would work until late at night, and it was amazing. So in November, after I hit ED, I said to my husband, I was like, you really don't need to work anymore. He was a restaurant manager. It's what took us out to this little small town of 2,200 people. There was this historic restaurant, and he was kind of recruited to try to save it. And so I was like, he had been there for however long. And I was like, you really don't need to work anymore. Like, I'm making more than enough money for you to start, like, retire from that and start working with me. And his famous last words were, what could go wrong? And I'm like, exactly, what could go wrong? I mean, Monet is like flying high. Like, we are like, this is incredible. What's happening? Well, famous last words, 2018 happened. And you guys all know what happened in 2018. And if you were on here last week and you saw Sarah, I literally had to turn off my camera because I started crying, because I was just like, I just, everything that she was saying, I was like, I was feeling it so much. I knew everything that she meant. So, 2018 came, we know what happened there. Lots of haters, lots of ugliness, it was not fun. It was not fun. But I stayed positive in 2018, and I fielded a lot of calls, from market partners. Our organization had grown so big, like in November, like I just knew that SED was right around the corner, and I knew what that meant. I knew how many people, how many lives were going to be blessed. And it was so exciting to me, because that is always what has driven me most. Like, don't get me wrong. I love being able to make great money. I love it. I never had like a career. And so being a stay-at-home mom, like, was so rewarding to me personally. I loved being a homeschool mom. I know not everyone does, but I did. I really loved it. When I was homeschooling my youngest son, money doesn't typically drive me, but what drives me is seeing other women become wildly successful, or not believing in themselves. And then all of a sudden, through lots of talking and lots of successes on their end, start believing in themselves. That drives me. And so I knew, like, that's what was happening. Like, I could see like all these Cadillacs that were going to be earned on our team. And I was just so excited. And even though 2018 was really, really hard, I kept my positive attitude. I kept my momentum. I did put out a lot of fires. I did field a lot of calls. And the only way that I can talk about 2018 and 2019 is I felt like I was in like a boxing match. And I felt like I was getting hit a lot, and I was taking those punches, and I was taking them, and I was taking them, and I was taking them. And sometimes I would get knocked down, but I would get back up. And so by 2019, we went to Columbus, right? And we came out with the skincare, and I got to be in the John Maxwell inaugural class, and that was amazing. I was still a director. Everything was great. And then the pandemic hit, right? And so I just kept little by little by little by little losing that fire that I have always had, until finally it was just extinguished and it wasn't there anymore. And I didn't have anything to give anyone. I couldn't give anything to anyone. I could not, as my friend Francie says, I could not motivate a flea. Like, I was not excited at all. Knocked out, KO. It was over with. I was knocked out. Okay. The fire was not there, but I still had something inside of me when it came to Monet. I was not willing to stay knocked out. So I knew that there was still something there. And I kept praying to God, please help me find my fire again. Help me. And I would think, okay, what do I tell, people in our organization when they're saying, I just can't really find my fire again. I say, get to work. Like, that's the only way you're going to find it. Get back to work. And I would try to get back to work. I would do all the things that I knew to do. And I would let the devil get in my head in such a big way. And it finally got to the point where I just totally had lost like all of my belief in myself. I didn't lose belief in the company ever. I never, ever, ever have lost my belief in Monet. But I was bitter. I was bitter towards the haters. I was bitter towards, I guess in some ways I was bitter towards Monet. Like, when we're mad about something and when I say that my organization, like, I don't even know if I've said this yet, my organization completely imploded. I mean, imploded. So literally I lost 3/4 of my organization. Gone. And it broke my heart. It destroyed me. It literally broke my heart, not for me, for them. Like, I was like, how did all of these amazing women lose this because of haters? And it just hurt my heart so much. And so I didn't honestly know what to do. I didn't. Well, fast forward, 2020, 2020 just stunk. And I didn't even realize like how bad it bothered me, like, but not being able to be around people and having that fire gone for my business and just all the things and just the worry, the stress, the everything, right? So we sold that country house, literally just sold that country house. And we packed it up because at some point during 2020, I decided let's keep it forever and have it as a vacation home. And so I of course did what I'm so great at, and I shopped like crazy for that country house, and I I filled that sucker up, and it looked so cute. And so we had to pack it all up. We sold it. Praise God, we sold that house. And anyway, Craig was driving the moving truck back to our Olathe house that we had moved back into in late 2018, so we could store our stuff until we have something great coming along. But anyway, so as we're driving back, he's driving the truck and I'm driving his car. And normally if I'm like in my car, I'm either listening to an audiobook, a podcast, or Spotify. Well, I couldn't get my phone hooked up to his audio. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even get this hooked up. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just like driving and trying to press buttons. And I haven't listened to the radio in so long. I don't even know what's on. And somehow I found Caleb and I'm like, okay. And I'm like listening to all these worship songs. And I just started praying to God. And it's a 2-hour drive. And I literally prayed the whole way home. And I was mainly thanking him just for everything, everything that he's done for us. And I said, I got to my 8 and I just said, God, I need your help. And I've asked him for this before, but things don't happen on our timing, right? They happen on God's timing. And I said, God, I really need your help with my heart. I have to find my fire again. I have to. I cannot lose my business. I cannot lose everything that I've worked so hard for it. And I don't want to lose it, but I will eventually lose it if I don't find that fire again. I need it, God. And so I said my prayer and I'm still praying to him and thanking him. And then about 15 minutes later, this woman came on to give a little short sermon. And she said something that I knew was straight from God for Tammy Fee. And it said, you cannot embrace better if you are dwelling in bitter. Write that down because I'm going to tell you right now, you want to read that over and over and over again. You cannot embrace better if you are dwelling in bitter. And I knew that was for me. And I was like, I hear you, God. I absolutely hear you. And something wonderful the next few days happened inside my heart. And I spent a lot of time in God's word, and I spent a lot of time thinking and praying and letting go of things that have hurt me. And I started feeling this joy happening. And then every morning I do a Bible study, and it was like every day God was saying something to me. Like the third day after that happened, I read this: we will be knocked around, shaken, and pushed. The things we work hard for that God has allowed us to build are ours to keep, if only we remember to cast our burdens on him. And I knew, like he was saying to me, I allowed you to build that organization. I allowed you to get that check right there, that bonus check. I allowed you to have that. And you are going to build it again because I need you to be my mouth, my feet, my hands. I need you to speak to other people because I want to bless other people through you. And I want you guys to really think about that. Like, if you hadn't said yes, or if you had given up, like so many people did, how many people would not be blessed because you didn't say yes, or you ended up giving up. And that's what I want you to keep in your heart is one yes can literally change thousands of lives. And when I started really thinking about that and thinking, okay, wow, I hear you so loud and clear, God. I started getting so excited, and that fire started building more and more and more. And I was like, okay, I felt like a baby MP. I truly did. I felt like a little baby market partner. And I was like, okay, so first thing I got to do, absolutely first thing I have to do is set a goal. Because if you do not set a goal for yourself, and I don't care what the goal is, I don't care if it's a PV goal, if it's Vegas, if it's your GB, if it's a rank goal, whatever it is, you have to set a goal for yourself every single month and set a goal for yourself every single week. maybe even do it daily, like whatever you need to do to make yourself move. All I know are goals are what helped me get to everything that I ever achieved in this company. It's because I always set non-negotiable goals. Like that was my thing. If I set a goal, I knew it might be hard to reach, but I made it non-negotiable. And that meant that I was not going to allow myself to quit on myself. And so I made like, a non-negotiable goal for myself. I don't know if I mentioned, like then in 2020, I lost my director rank. I had fallen down to AED. I was a director in this company for 3 years. Guys, that was devastating. That was like so devastating for me, like to lose my director rank. And that is where I was dwelling in that bitterness, right? But who cares? Like we can get anything back if we let go and we're embracing the better, as long as we're not dwelling in the bitter, right? And so first thing I did was set my goal. And then the second thing that I suggest that you do every single night before your head hits the pillow, and I learned this from Mary Kay Ash, who started Mary Kay, is write a list every night of the 5 most important things that I need to do the next day. And that could be, following up with someone, that could be sending out some samples, that could be making a post, just the 5 most important things that I need to do the next day. And that way, as soon as I wake up, I've got a list, right? So I've started implementing that again. And then one of the most important things that you need to do is get an accountability partner. And with that accountability partner, it cannot be someone that's going to let you off the hook. It cannot be someone that you're going to let off the hook. It cannot be someone that, like, you guys got to make some agreements, like at the very beginning, that you're not going to let negativity come in any way. That's just the devil wanting to stop you from working your business. It has to be someone that is willing to text you daily, that you're willing to text daily, and that you're just going to tell them what you're doing. You're going to ask them what they're doing. Like one day I was like, I'm just so tired. I just don't know if I can do what I need to do. And my accountability partner said, just do X, Y, Z, and then you can feel good because you're done. And I'm like, yes, you're right. And I mean, you need that. So make those bargains with your accountability partner that you guys are going to push each other, and you're not going to let each other off the hook. Okay. Sometimes it's easy to let your friends off the hook, but you can't, when you're an accountability partner, let your friends off the hook, because you want to do right by them and help them with their business and help them stay accountable. So then the next thing I did, because seriously, I 2020 was just a shit show for me. I'm not even kidding. I mean, it was just, sometimes I was like, as John Maxwell would say, I was chopping down a tree, trying to work my business again. And then I chopped down another tree, and then I was chopping down another one, and then another one. And I got so confused, like, what am I even supposed to do? Right. And so I just gave myself these simple set steps to do to get back to work. And so I went on Facebook and I started cleaning up my friends list. I have people on my Facebook that, I may have added years ago, but we don't have any interaction, or, whatever. I just kept going through and looking at different friends, and did I want to keep them? Did I want to remove them? Whatever. I just went through my Facebook and started cleaning it up. And then while I was there, I started writing down people's names that I have never talked to about my name, which, let me tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot. And so that list is long, right? So that's what I did. Start out just writing down 30 to 50 names, whatever, just start out writing down some names about people that you have not talked to about Monat yet. Then the next thing that I did is I went through my messenger and I went through, I mean, so many messages to see who I maybe had started conversations with, maybe not even brought up money yet, but who I had started conversations with. Maybe, guys, this is me being real with you. Maybe had started conversations with them, said I was going to send them samples and then didn't. Yeah, yeah, I did that with so many people. And I was like, it just felt so awful to me because I never used to run my business that way. But I wasn't in a good place. And guess what? When you're not in a good place, you're not doing the things that you should be doing, right? Like I was doing it halfway, not all the way. So guess what? Mama just like reached out and said, "Oh my gosh, I am so embarrassed. I cannot believe I didn't send samples to you." And just, offered to send samples again. The other thing that I did was I have started to get social again on social media. We are a social selling company. We are a network marketing company, right? We've got to network with people. We have to be social with people. If you're not on social media, if that's not how you build your business, then you just have to network with people outside of social media, right? So, uh, yeah, so what I did, like with the people that were on my friends list that I wrote down, I like took 10 at a time, and I used Trello myself to keep track of people. But you can use Doe. You can, I think Amy DeCane's like mentioned index cards before. You can use a notebook like I used to use, like for keeping track of people. But I would just take 10 people at a time and just comment on their things, like especially if they check to see if they have stories. If you comment on their story, it goes straight to their messenger, right? And but just comment on people's things. Start getting social again and be really good about posting in your own stories and about posting on your page. I literally did not post on social media like hardly at all, maybe 1 or 2 posts in all of June and July. I'm back at it, right? So I'm back at it. So yeah, so doing that, like I'm just getting very, very social again. And then I also like have my Facebook friends. I don't know, you're gonna have to Google this. I don't remember how I did it, but I have them on my calendar on Mac. They always come onto my calendar. Google how to do that because I don't even remember how I did it. But if you don't, if you don't, if you're not able to do that, then just screenshot like people's birthdays. And then what I've been doing, and I did start this several months ago, it was one of the trees I was chopping. The day after their birthday, that's when I reach out and I send a message and I just say, "Hey, I saw that yesterday was your birthday. I hope you had a really great day. Did you do anything fun for your birthday?" Hoping that I can start that conversation with them. And some people don't respond at all, and that's fine. But the people who do, that I get to have a conversation with, they go on my list that I have of people that I'm wanting to start talking to more on Facebook, because I want to be social with people, right? I want them to see me. I want us to have reasons to have conversations. So I strongly suggest that you do that, because if you think about like birthdays, if you do it the day of, they're not even really going to remember that you actually messaged them on their birthday because they're getting so many messages. So the day after is the greatest thing that you can do. The other thing that I really did when I was like, okay, what do I got to do? Because here I am, this baby MP. That's the way I feel. I'm a brand new market partner. What do I got to do? Well, how did I build my business is what I stopped to think about. And honestly, the way I built my business are all those things that I said to you. I was social on Facebook, even though some of the posts are so cringeworthy when I look back at them and I go, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea what I was doing." But I was social on social media, all those sort of things. And I added friends and I deleted friends and all those things. But personally, the way I built my business, and I have to do what's authentic to me, I am not saying this is the right way, but I love sampling people, getting their opinion. And then that is how I open up the door talking about VIP, market partner, retail, VIP, and market partner. Give them all three options, right? So I decided that's what I was going to do, is get back to sampling people again. Now, if you don't feel like that's something that you can afford right at this moment for whatever reason, and you want to offer the 30-day money back guarantee, it is incredible. And right, it's a wonderful, wonderful way to sample someone, actually. So you can definitely do that. I personally built this entire business through sampling. And so for me, it felt very authentic and like what I wanted to do for myself. And that leads me to one other thing. And then I've got a call to action for you guys. If I can find my call to action. And that is one of the things that I decided that I was going to stop doing is following people on social media who, when I look at them, I start comparing myself, or it gives me some sort of feeling that's not positive. If you want to get ideas from someone, that's fantastic. It truly is. It's great, but that doesn't mean you have to follow them. If they give you any kind of feeling, and not that they're giving you that feeling, like you have that feeling on your own. Like I've got that feeling only because I'm looking and I'm thinking, oh yeah, she's like so young, or, she, of course, people, talk to her. She's got, 35,000 followers, or, whatever, like the stories we tell ourselves. Just don't follow them. Like literally don't follow them. But if you want to get ideas, just go get ideas from them, right? But be you. Just be you. Like I think through this entire time, which I don't feel like anything is a waste, right? I feel like that's the one thing that I've really finally figured out is I might not like actually attract a 25-year-old, right? I might, who knows? But I'm okay with just being authentically me. I am okay with just sharing Tammy, because when I am being authentic and I am just being me, then that is when people are going to be attracted to me. If I try to be someone else, it's never going to work, right? And so that's what I suggest, is just be you and know that you will attract the people that you're supposed to attract to you. So I have a call to action for you guys, and I really, really, really strongly suggest that you do these things. Like if you resonate with my story at all, if you have been in a funk and you need to get out of a funk, I mean, just hearing my story is not going to get you out of your funk. It's just not. I heard lots of stories, right? It's going to take internal work from you. But some of these things that I'm going to suggest to you, I hope will help. So first, I would suggest that you join for our team, Team Inspiring Unity. I suggest that you join our WhatsApp All in Unity that Candace made. Guys, go watch her video. It's in the announcements. You've got to be around people who are firing you up. Right? If you are constantly surrounding yourself with chatter of negativity, you're going to feel negative. But if you're surrounding yourself with people who are working, who are fired up, who are doing the do, it's contagious. It truly is contagious. So go check that out and look about joining that. It's on the WhatsApp app. And then second, find yourself an accountability partner. One of those accountability partners that is not going to let you off the hook and you're not going to let off the hook. Like you guys got to make a deal with each other and do not let each other off the hook. And then third, if if you haven't yet, before you go to bed tonight, you make yourself a goal for August. And that goal has to be whatever you want, but you make yourself a goal for August and you tell yourself, this goal is non-negotiable. I will hit this goal. And then just start taking action. Just start by doing the steps that I mentioned tonight. Because guys, this business is not rocket science. Like, we make it so hard when we are overwhelmed and we are like feeling stressed. I mean, seriously, I get it, because I was there. I was like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I get ED and I'm sitting here telling myself I don't even know where to start. It's so simple. You just need to be social on social media, or if you don't work social media, you just need to network with other people. You need to make your post on social media. You need to comment on other people's posts. You need to reach out to people, sample, wash, rinse, repeat. Like, you sample, you follow up, wash, rinse, repeat. That's it. Like, literally, it's not rocket science. It's not. You just have to make the commitment and have the belief that you can get there. And I am going to tell you right now that there is not a doubt in my mind about this company. We are going places still. We have gone through a hard time. And guess what? We are still recognized as one of the top companies out there. And we're so young. So nothing with Monate has changed. Nothing with Monate has changed in the last few weeks. The only thing that's changed for me is me. The only thing that has changed is my heart. And that can be the same thing for you. Like, if you have been in a rut, you can change your heart and you can take those action steps and make a difference. So I'm going to look at the chat really quick and see if anyone has any questions. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top and then I will, okay. Yes, we did. Oh, y'all are going to make me cry. Yes. Yes, keep it simple, sweetie. Absolutely. Okay, I have sent out so many samples and reach out to follow up, and they see my message but never answer me. Okay, that was from Deborah. So Deborah, let me tell you, like, part of like my non-negotiable goals when I started was, of course, I listened to Eric Worre when I very first started. I had not done direct sales in several years. It had been like 7 or 8 years. And one of the things that really resonated me in GoPro was, you are a network marketing professional. And so in order to be a professional does not just follow up once or twice, right? A professional follows up until they get a yes or no, because that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. So if you followed up and they see the message and they still didn't answer, well, you're probably telling yourself, I'm bugging them if I do it again, but you're not. You're being a professional. And if you treat it in a professional manner, they will in turn act in a professional manner. And I've literally gotten to the point after, I don't know, 6 follow-ups, been like, I really don't want to bug you, but this is seriously my job. I need to make sure that you had a good opportunity, or had an opportunity to try the samples. And I would love to get your opinion. Please let me know how things went, or if you need me to send you a new set of samples. Like, I try to give them an out, so I just follow up. I literally follow up until I get a yes or a no. There is only one person, I can tell you, one person in all of the time that I did Monate that never got back to me. And I I mean, literally, I must have followed up with her 12 times and she never, ever got back to me. And I went to school with her. And so it was a little awkward, but whatever, I mean, I feel like I did my job, right? And so just keep following up and just know that you just have to follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And a lot of times you really do have to follow up 5 or 6 times and it will start to feel like, oh, I'm bugging them. But I just say things in a way that makes it hopefully for them to feel like I'm not bugging them. Like I let them know that it took me 8 days before I tried my samples that were sent to me and my girl had to keep following up or whatever. I just keep talking to them about it. So any other questions? Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I just want to leave with you guys. I want to breathe in any kind of belief that I possibly can to you. You are in the right place at the right time. Okay. And there is not a better time than right now to get back at it and get busy. So I hope to see you on Candace's All In Inspiring Unity. I'm so excited about it. It's so fun. You guys will love it. And let's fire each other up because that's what we need to do. So love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.